Welcome back, viewers, crypto enthusiasts, just good people in general. I got my cat Sprocket here. He's been through a lot this summer, but he's got a bit declining like crypto. And I just want to give you guys some market analysis of what is going on, some key levels that I am looking at, and where I'm going in the future. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. I've got my trades that are actually both shorts. I already took profit and closed the longs that I had because yesterday we got up to little over 20,000, like 200 is where I closed my Bitcoin. And I was honestly like, all right, I need to short here because of the fact that there is so much resistance. Here I am on the hourly. I will go back on the daily because it's easier to look at here. Let me get rid of the volume profile because that's fun to look at a little bit. But honestly, I need to look at just typical volume as well, not just level volume, to see how that is going, because usually volume declines right before a big bounce happens. I know it sounds ridiculous, but especially if you've got a pattern forming, you want to look for a declining volume, because that declining volume is going to give you a sign that something is about ready to happen. You know, it's like pressure on I guess this is a crappy analogy, but like popping a pimple. Once you start squeezing hard enough, then boom, it explodes. But that squeezing is you're pinching it lower, right? But typically, like, anyway, that was a bad analogy here. And what happens most of the time, about I would say 65% of the time, yeah, that's a arbitrary number that I'm throwing out there, that when you have an ascending triangle, you have a throwback. And what do I mean by a throwback? Throwback meaning that we go up. Here, let me zoom more into this so you guys can see it, because I'm looking at the stream and it looks like it's just hard to see. Okay, so here, get rid of that. So this is an ascending triangle that I told everybody about on my TikTok, and that, hey, this is what I was going to be trading. And I traded it on Bitcoin, and I sold it, luckily, fairly close to the top, and I actually shorted right there as well, and I was waiting for the throwback, because what happens is a price goes do, and then we bounce through. And typically what happens is we go up, and then we go back to a throwback, and then from there, potentially, we have a likelihood for going back upwards, okay? And typically how you find a price target with these formations is you take kind of the high and the low, and then if I can grab it, then you move it up to the breakout. And this works. This works most of the time, unless you have a key level of resistance in the way. And where is that key level of resistance? Well, it's my dotted line there. It's 20,000. That's the psychological level for Bitcoin that people are just like, boom. All right. So for any new traders out there, never put your price targets or your stop losses at a even, number. Anything with a zero or like half, right? So if I'm just using simple terms in Bitcoin, 20,000, got a bunch of zeros there. 20,500, we'll probably see some resistance. 21,000, probably will see some form of resistance. Even if there's not much on here, you'll instantly probably see people selling just a little bit. So there'll be a small little pause in there. So because there's a key level there, I moved my price target in half. Because I'm like, hey, if we get here, it's going to be tough for us to break above 20,500-ish, okay? And we might find support at 20,000. And once we were getting close to retracing down there, I was like, all right, I just need to sell 75% of the trade to get out. And the other 25%, it got stopped out this morning for a zero loss, because I moved my stop once I took profits on that guy. And you can see that my Bitcoin trade is up. I've actually taken profits, and I'm looking at entering a long. I'm looking at entering a long on Bitcoin at this level because of the throwback here at 19,500. You can see we barely broke down between 19,463. So I'm looking at is this a good level to come in here? All right. And if I'm just looking at the daily here, back to the daily, let me get rid of some of my drawings here, but not the ascending triangle, because I want to keep that up here so that you guys can see. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get rid of that line here. And let me just zoom into the 1 hour, right? Okay, so we've got the ascending triangle, and boom, we broke out, which was awesome. Broke out. We found resistance, and that's when I was like, okay, need to get out. And now here's the throwback. And what is happening on the throwback? Well, just what I just told you guys, that we are finding a level of support here. So I'm going, okay, this might be a good position for me to go long here. And yeah, you guys can see I've got a short open on Bitcoin right now, but I've already taken profit and I've moved my stop to break even. So I could literally open a long here, and my profit taking right now could pay for, on the short, could pay for this long if something ends up not going my way. But looking on the hourly, this is all unfiltered right now of where I'm looking at potentially to take that long. And if I take that long, where would I feel like I should put my stop? You know, potentially, should I put my stop? I want to have it somewhere where I'm not getting just stopped out and having price just blow back up. If I'm trading on the hourly, looking at the hourly, I might want to find a better position. And gosh, you know, truthfully, I'm looking at 19,000. 19,000 is really the level where I want to have price touch for me to be stopped out here. But that's a fairly big distance here. If I'm looking at even the 15-minute, where does the 15-minute look like? Yeah, because it looks like we're bouncing right here. No. What do I have here? Almost making a descending triangle. Almost, but it's not filled in. It's not filled in, so I wouldn't consider that a descending triangle. And descending triangles still sometimes break upwards. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, Noel, I appreciate the comments, you guys. And hey, good to hear from you from Canada. And good morning, guys. Good morning. So, gosh, if I'm trading off the 15-minute, I'd be out of this trade a lot sooner, because the support here that I'm looking at is 19,300. Right? That might be a good portion to be like, okay, you know, it's not near as strong as the 1 hour. And to me, that might actually be a better risk versus reward for me to bounce off of here, because really, truthfully, we would see 19,900 would really be close to where my price target would be to bounce. Would be the first target for me to then start at least taking a small position out of. And from there, okay, let me just move on to my Ethereum trade, because my Ethereum trade, I also took some profit as well. And looking at my Ethereum trade here live on, okay, come on, go back out. Dun, dun, dun. What is this? 1370. Okay, all right. So what I did yesterday was I found that, here, let me go back to the daily. Ooh, gosh. Dun, dun, dun. I closed my long that I had going forever, that I had literally going forever, all the way up to 2,000, and took lots of different profits. Never closed it out, but I officially closed it out last night, because we have this symmetric triangle, which symmetric triangles are cool because they do end up bouncing. And you can see, just like what I said, you know, we've got declining volume before we have that little pump, right? So that's something to look out for. And here we stalled out because I knew that we had a strong resistance level at 1,400, and I really wanted price to get to 1,400. So, but we couldn't. So I ended up going short at 1,370. Isn't totally the top here, but it's made pretty good, and we could see. Are we going to get back into the triangle here? because we're bouncing off of some support right at relatively 13,020. I want to say the arbitrary number of 13,000 is really a good level of support here. So if I was thinking of going long, I might want to see price go down just a little bit more, but we can see that we're starting to turn potentially into a doji on the daily. If I'm going to the hourly, what does it look like? You know, because price is finding a level here. You can see if kind of here, you know, but yeah, right here. But truthfully, I missed my long opportunity right here. I want to see price go below this level for me to try to get long here. And again, I took profit because I always take profit right at 50%. So if I don't move the stop, I'm still going to be up. Hey, William, you're saying my channel's slowly growing. Yeah, dude, it's got a lot to do with the sheer fact that stocks and everything are just plummeting. You know, I'm picking a bad time to try to grow the channel. If I was going as heavily on the content when we were in a bull market, I believe it would be growing quite a bit more. But you can see I've got shorts open right now, and I'm going to leave it open because this might not be a good level to pop in here. So I really want to see us touch closer to 1,300 for me to potentially want to try to go long again. So that is what I am looking at. I don't, you know, a lot of people are saying that we have not hit the bottom yet. And that's where I'm... there's a saying by Mark Twain, if you find yourself on the majority, you should stop and reflect. And I personally believe because of peak inflation was at 9% and it's slowly going lower, you know, interest rates have gone through the roof. I don't think that the Fed is going to raise interest rates over another point and to kind of kill our economy. Yes, if the economy starts being killed by some sort of weird administration thing where they decide, oh, it's not going down fast enough, we need to raise interest rates by 2%, it's going to just completely stop production of everything. And then I would see a decline right now. But truthfully, I'm just playing support and resistance right now because I think the bottom is already in. I don't think Ethereum is going to go down below 1,000 anymore. Its low was right around 800. Okay, that I don't think that we're going to hit. We might touch 1,000 again. We might, right? But we're not going to touch 800 again. And Bitcoin is really the catalyst for everything right now because it owns the most market share. And really what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a bounce off this ascending triangle, the throwback, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. So I'm going to look at trying to get in here and having a tight stop, right? You heard it from here. This isn't financial advice. This is just me being open about, you know, on the 15-minute. I can see that price is finding a level, right, where we're starting. You know, you could say that this is consolidation from the big move, okay? That is what you could say. And you could easily look at this and say, all right, you know, if I'm betting that this is going up, I'm going to enter close to this level and I'm going to get out close to this level. Okay, that's around 19,300 to being wrong. And price probably will maybe bounce here or do something where we go down here and we start kind of bouncing here. That's why I would put my stop closer to right around in the middle of this formation here, right? And then my take profit would be up in this area right around 19,800, 900 is really where I'd be playing this. But that is probably what I'm going to be looking at. I'm thinking I'll probably, where's the 1 minute? If I'm going super into here, right? Because on the 1 minute, you can really see this is really pronounced. Gosh, come on, chart. These guys need to move out of here. Right? On the 1 minute, you can really see that price is bouncing off of this. And we are finding a level, right? So we've got one touch, two touch. I'd like to see a third touch here before explosion, you know. But we're having a hard time getting above 1,600 here. right? So my enter, I'd probably maybe put a limit order in close to 1,500 again and see where that goes. But that is my analysis for this morning. I really appreciate all of you guys. Hey, let me know in the comments below how I can help, because I am here to help. I do a lot of shorts on TikTok and Instagram. You know, I'll be doing more of this stuff too. I'm going to do a lot more teaching. Check me out on Around the Blockchain. I've got a few coming up next week where we're going to talk about stuff. But okay, I'll answer this last question. Right when you think when it happened, that's when it will happen. Yeah, that's pretty much how trading works, right? We just have to try to make sure that we're using price analysis to help dictate, you know, potential future movement here. And that is what I'm thinking. That is honestly what I'm thinking. We could see another thing here, but there is not a giant move here going on. And if I'm going back to the 1 hour, this stuff doesn't have a crap ton. We've got the volume. The volume already happened, and now it's died down completely, which is a good sign that, hey, we're not going to continue to move, because that is a full-blown level just off, right? But hey, I appreciate all of you guys. Till next time, this is Johnny Crypto. I'm here to help you guys make some money.